Battlebots Reviewed, Episode 8 Special. Review subject, Deathroll, Original versus Modern. Yes, Deathroll, the best breakout star of Season 4 of Modern Battlebots, who made it to the semi-finals with only one loss on its record. A feat that, might I add, not even Whiplash could accomplish. However, in Season 2, its beginning season, it went completely without a victory. How a bot can go from so bad to so good is beyond me. But that's what we're here to find out in the first edition of Versus. Now, for Versus, I'm only going to be comparing two bot designs that are similar enough to the point where I can reasonably judge them. Like, take Hypershock, for instance. It won't be getting a Versus because while the first two seasons had roughly the same design, they're similar enough, so it's reasonable to compare them. But then we get to Season 3 over here, who's so wildly different, and Season 4 as well. It would be completely unreasonable to compare them. So I won't be doing one for Hypershock. They'll get their own separate reviews. Also, updating my judging criteria so that now all categories are out of 5, because my old one was stupid. And their new scores are this. Feel free to pause the video if you feel like reading them. Okay, so, with all that out of the way, let's get to judging Deathroll. Design. Now, Deathroll here is a four-wheeled bot with a vertical disc spinner, which happens to be very big. Now, as I said, this is going to be comparing the two designs, so let's look at the older one first. The older one had some decent design aspects, like a wider base means more stability, but there are a few things I don't like. One, the wheel guards are way too thin and leave the wheels quite bare. Second, the wedgelets there are not attached to the bot itself, they're just attachments, meaning that they can be easy to break off, just ask Bite Force. And finally, speaking of things that are broken off, that tail. That tail is very easy to break off and is an easy target, which essentially just gives the opponent free damage points, which, since Deathroll was inexperienced there, giving him free damage points will be a death sentence. Thankfully, the newer one fixes all that. The wedges are now part of the bot, they fix the wheel guards to be a lot thicker, and they remove that stupid tail. And they even decide to go one step further and add something the original didn't. A dedicated self-righting mechanism in the form of that knife arm. Which is always a plus, because not having a self-righting mechanism can sometimes be a death sentence. And no, bouncing on the spinner doesn't count, because that could potentially break it down. So, for the design category, the winner is clearly the modern one, as it was just refining a design that really needed it. Performance. Okay, so the original's performance was subpar at best. Like, its weapon wasn't particularly powerful, it was, I guess, reliable, but its driving was also only halfway decent at best, so I can't really give it any high score, even a bit of praise there. But the newer one, though, yeah, if you saw that pre-fight chat when they were going up against Quantum, you'll know that most of their design is dedicated to keeping its weapon spinning. Like, they even added a second weapon belt, just in case the first one snapped. So, if you're wondering if, just use a crusher to kill it. Well, no. Also, their driving is really good. There's a reason they were able to beat Minotaur and Yeti. Since their weapon's powerful and their driving's really good, the modern one gets a perfect 5 out of 5, whereas the original, again, gets a subpar 2 out of 5. I can tell for the modern one, they practiced a lot, and it paid off in spades by letting them get to these semi-finals with that. Appearance. Now, I'm just gonna come right out. I think the original appearance needs some work. Like, I think the wheels being exposed there doesn't look the best, and I also don't like the way they blended the greens there, which, to me, just looked ugly, for lack of a better word. Also, they just decided to make the eyes and spinner red for no particular reason. Well, I guess green and red could work, but I guess if it was with a better shade of green... Oh, wait! Yeah, I think the original is far better. Like, I think the self-righting mechanism being a knife hand, or a hand with a knife, is really cool. Also, I think the brighter shades of green are a much needed improvement, and I like that they added some more red to it, which is a good contrast between the two colors. So, yeah, I think this one looks way better. Also, the sides with the wheels not being exposed from the side is a much welcome change. So, for appearance, the original gets a 3 out of 5, which it's decent for an animal bot, but not particularly good. The modern one, of course, gets a 5 out of 5. It just improved on the original that much. I like it if you couldn't tell. Final score? For the old, 7 out of 15, a mediocre score, but the new gets a perfect 5 across the board, or 15 out of 15. Which means that the winner of this episode of Versus is Modern. I mean, what's not to like? This has quickly become one of my favorite bots because, well, he made it to the top 4 with only 1 loss on his record against Witch Doctor, and that's because he was worn down, like not even Whiplash could do that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoy this special type of Battlebots reviewed episode, and I'll see you next time. Now, I'm gonna go have a snack.